Hello fashionistas, and welcome back to this beautiful day in Western New Jersey. Come on in. Boy, oh boy, did we go through a lot of stuff in our makeup and skincare episode with Tara last week. Amazing, wasn't it? I bet you've watched it 10 times to take notes. So let's welcome Tim on behalf of the Canine Chronicle on the website and on their Facebook page as Tim joins us for the Canine Chronicle Closet Confidential. Well, hi Tim, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day here in Westchester County, which is just right above New York City. And how's it in New Jersey? Is it nice there too?
It's equally beautiful and probably one of the nicest days we have had since we've been locked in. So there you go.
Great.
Let me, on behalf of the Canine Chronicle on their Facebook and website, welcome you to the Closet Confidential.
Oh, well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
It's a thrill to have somebody with your hair expertise with us to talk about all the issues that we're facing now that we are, well, you are about ready to open up a little bit, which is a wonderful thing in Westchester County. And we are a little bit opened as well, but nowhere near the point yet where we're going to be allowed to see our stylists and our hair professionals in our life. So to have you...
It's just changed, yeah.
So to have you be here to talk to us today is a wonderful thing, as the ladies of the dog world will be emerging soon and have a great need since the time that's been since we got hair colored and haircuts and have made ourselves look as well as we would like to. So tell me, as we emerge from these wonderful weeks of semi-seclusion, our hair definitely need to be colored and they need to be cut. Which would you suggest we do first?
Well, ideally, the best situation is if you could do both at the same time, of course. But if for whatever reason, time or you're on a budget or you don't want to stay too long in a salon because of social distancing, it's really a case-by-case situation as far as what's the most important to you. And, you know, for example, if you have long hair past your collarbone and it's very dark and you have 2 inches of roots, you're probably going to need to get your color done first. If you have, you know, fine hair that's shorter and you have very mousy color at your roots and you haven't done your highlights in a few, months, you obviously want to get your highlights done too. So generally speaking, you're probably going to, in most cases, want to get your color done first, unless you are thinking about growing your beautiful gray hair out, if it's beautiful gray hair. Because now you probably have about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of, what we call virgin hair that is not colored. And if you're finding that your gray coming in is really beautiful and you kind of like it and you're questioning, hey, maybe I should just, stop coloring my hair, then it would be the time to get a great short haircut so you can get, as much of the colored hair off as possible. And, you'll know yourself if you look in the mirror and you see that hair that's not colored is a beautiful white color and you're of a certain age, it might be time to stop coloring your hair and take advantage of this time to, that you've been able to grow your hair out so you can see what it looks like naturally and then get a great short haircut.
Well, that's some really, really good advice. I had a grandmother who had beautiful, beautiful white hair. And I can understand why you would say that. That's some excellent advice.
Yeah, I had somebody who I cut the hair the other day that when she came over to get a haircut, we did it on my patio and when she arrived here, she was kind of in the dumps and almost like a little depressed because she'd been locked up in New York City for a couple of months. And she had beautiful gray color coming in. And we decided to cut her hair short, and it was like a great new look for her. And she left, kind of like a new person with a new lease on life where she had stepped into another chapter in her life. Because ultimately, the one thing about hair, cut or color, the reason we do it is so you feel better. Yeah, it's great that you look better, but ultimately, you want to feel better. So whatever's going to make you feel the best, do that first.
Well, that is absolutely good advice, and I encourage everybody to make that decision which one they want to do, just as Tim suggests. But be mindful of the fact that sometimes, when one door closes, another door opens, and maybe this is a perfect opportunity to have a new look and be a new you as we emerge from all these weeks of being unable to take care of ourselves as well as we would, there's nothing like a good stylist who can help us make those decisions for sure.
Hopefully.
Well, I realize they won't all be as great as you are, but we're all pretty good at that. Tim, a lot of people have been talking about the use of hair product at home, and that they were not necessarily able to go out and buy them, and you don't want to spend a lot of money on a product if you're not sure if it's the right product for you. But now, as people are able to put an order in at the store and pick it up, or at some places even go in and get it themselves, any suggestions on a few hair products that you think every fashionista should have available to her?
Well, obviously you want to start with a good shampoo and conditioner. Some people think that they don't make a difference, and actually they make a big difference. The Kerastase line is a great line. That's an upscale line. It is a little expensive, but within that line, you want to pick the right shampoo and conditioner for your hair texture. Meaning, if you have fine hair, you want to get the shampoo that gives you more volume. If you have fine hair, don't get the shampoo that's going to nourish your hair with a lot of nutrients, etc. Okay?
Well, because that would weigh it down.
It would make it oily. Okay?
Oily, okay.
Yeah. And, and once again, if you have kind of like, bushy, almost frizzy hair, you want to use that nourishing shampoo, the one that's designed to give your hair more moisture. So make sure you look for like those key words of like volume, might aid in, there might be something that aids in giving the hair, more moisture if your hair is dry. Okay, and even there's other products that will help change the texture too. As far as the frizziness, like the John Frieda's Frizzies, it's called Frizzies, which is a lower end product, is very good. To help get rid of the frizzies, and Sally Hirschberger, which is another product, which is a not so expensive. It's a very good basic shampoo. It's like most dog people probably do know, from using shampoos on their dogs, that it does indeed matter what you use. Okay, so start with the shampoo and the right conditioner, okay? Because if you don't have that, and the way you know is when you've done your shampoo that day, if your hair doesn't feel good or it's greasy, whatever, that means it's not good. So you might have to try a few. And once again, ask your hairstylist when you're at the salon if they have recommendations. And then, obviously, if you have fine hair, you're going to want to use a volumizer.
Oh, you can talk to me about that all day, because this girl has very fine hair.
It makes a big difference. I mean, my favorite is this product by Uemura, it's called. Okay, it's called The Art of Hair. And you spray some of this on your hair, like before you blow it dry, and it just helps, it gives the hair a little bit of texture and weight to it, so it's just not quite so fine. It almost adds a coating to the hair in a good way. Okay.
Well, that's a great one, Uemura. I won't forget that
right.
one, Tim.
And now the other thing that's good, so you have your shampoo, your conditioner, you either a volumizer or a gel. A gel is good also if you have fine hair, because that helps give volume to the roots and gives a coating to the hair, so it doesn't just lay flat to your head. And then one other product, if you have fine hair, would be a mousse. This is like what a mousse is like. It's this same Uemura product, and it just comes out, like that. And you want to make sure that you rub it in your hands very well before you apply it in your hair, okay? And then just work it through. And once again, that'll make each hair strand thicker if you have fine hair. And then, of course, those three products I just described are pretty much for people with fine hair. If you're somebody who has a lot of hair, then once again, you might want to go into the John Frieda Frizzy's product line, where they have serums that help smooth your hair out so you can keep it flatter. This same product company, Uemura, has one, a cream that helps kind of tame the hair down and makes it almost, it's like a cream on the hair that gives more moisture to the hair and helps take away the frizziness. And then, of course, so you've had your shampoo. You have just pick one or two styling products. Keep it simple, okay? So your shampoo, conditioner, one or two styling products, and then depending how you wear your hair, you might finish with the hairspray. Okay, and
Any particular ones that you think are really good?
you know, I've been using this product line Uemura for quite some time. They have great products. I also like the Kerastase hairspray a great deal, and then at the same time, you know, you could always go to Sally Beauty Supply and buy like their generic hairspray. It's not that bad. You know, it's not my favorite, but it's okay.
Well, those are good things to know, because sometimes you can get one expensive one and then you have to get one that's a little less expensive to compensate for the fact that you invested in the one this time until you build up your collection. It's hard when some people haven't been working or to go out and spend a whole lot right now. So that's really kind and very good advice.
Well, and the thing is, it's always best to keep it simple, okay? The fewer products that you can use, the better.
Well, that's what they say. The easier you make it, the easier it is.
Right.
Well, Tim, I know that a lot of women have a drawer full of hair tools that some of them they use, some of them they don't use, some of them are on the tops of their drawers and all other places. Some of them are in their suitcases and they never take them out. So tell us, can you cue us in on a couple of hair tools that every woman should have?
What you just said is really important, because I find if I go to someone's home to do their hair, that they have exactly what you said. And they have so many more brushes than I do, and that they don't use. You really, depending on what kind of hair you have, you need 1 or 2 round brushes like this, like a round bristle brush. If you have short hair, obviously a small one, and if you have, you know, mid-length hair, a little bit larger one, and so on. If you have long hair, maybe you want one, you know, more like this size, okay? But the point is, you just need 1 or 2 round brushes, okay? You don't. It's not so much what you're using is how you use it.
Okay.
All right.
Tell me what that's about. Because I think
that's
maybe
about.
Most of us do it all wrong.
Well, I mean, that's a whole other segment as far as blow drying your hair, if you're blow drying your hair yourself. But you always want to go with the grain of the hair, with the cuticle. You don't want to blow your hair in the opposite direction like that, you know, because you mess the hair up. So you want to have the brush, the hair on the brush with the dryer going this direction. Okay? If that makes sense. You know.
It certainly does.
Okay, and then of course, if you have maybe long hair that's very curly that you want to have straight, you are going to need a flat iron in that case, which I'm sure you all know what a flat iron is. And once again, there's a lot of flat irons on the market. You just need one. Just one basic good flat iron, and just don't over process your hair. Don't burn your hair. And then, of course, a lot of people like to see waves now, if you have longer hair, that is. And so you can have the possibility of using a curling iron on your hair also. But, you know, probably for our audience, the people who are going to see this, you're getting your dogs ready in the morning before a dog show, and you might not have time to take a flat iron or a curling iron to your hair. And that's perfectly fine, because if you have longer hair, it's a great look just to tie your hair back. You know, it's clean, it's simple. You don't need to have an overdone hairdo, because when you use there's nothing worse than using a curling iron and having your hair look like it's too styled also. You know, you want it to have a soft, natural look, but if you're running around the ring, you know, let's get real. It's hard to have a soft, natural, flowing look without it getting into your face, you know, in your eyes, and, you know, interfering with how you're showing your dog. So I would really opt, you know, for a simple, you know, tied back look. I think it's great for showing dogs.
So let me understand kind of what you've zeroed in on. Just one round brush that's dependent on whether you have long hair, short hair, or medium hair, and that would, the size of the brush would then reflect that. Or in other words, size does count with those brushes, right, Tim?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the next thing that you would want to do is have something like a curling iron for the tighter curl, and a flat iron to smooth out your hair. And between those 3 different items, plus a good blow dryer, I would think,
right,
you should be able to come up creatively with a hair that looks good to be in a professional situation when you are showing your hair and when you're showing your dog.
Because let's face it, when you're showing your dog or whether you're a judge, you really either want to have a great short haircut that's going to look good no matter what the wind is, no matter whether you're outside judging for 6-8 hours a day. And if you have longer hair, you want to have the possibility to tie it back. So if you are outside judging for 6-8 hours a day, you can tie it back and you'll look fresh, and it'll feel better. So you can focus on either judging the dogs or focus on showing your dog.
Well, again, sage advice from the star of the Housewives of New York City and for hairdressers or whatever. Tim, another question, because you did talk about professionalism, and I think you've come up with a really good point, and that is that many people do come to the dog show to show their dog, and they are dressed as if they're going out to a social occasion where they need to be very dressed up, and their hair reflects that. And I think that your point that your hair shouldn't be that styled when you're coming to the dog show, because I've had many a person leaning, over the table over their dog while I'm doing table dogs, and their hair is getting in my way, the dog's way, and their way. I mean, have you seen the same thing?
Yeah, I think that if your hair is, like past this length here, there's very few people who are going to be able to not tie it back and to not have it be, in their way while they're showing their dog. And it's just a neater, cleaner, simpler look where your hair is off your face, you're showing your face, and you can focus on your dog, which is what you're there for. You can, save your hairdo for when you're in New York for, Westminster, and you're going out every night with your friends. Then get your hair done.
Tim, I got a question from a fan of the Closet Confidential. She's a young woman who was born in Korea, who has naturally black hair. And for not only this period of time when she was unable to see her stylist, before that she abused the use of color products on her hair. And as a result now, the black hair has no shine and is not in the best of condition. Any advice for Olivia and all the other women out there who've honestly been doing their own hair color when they never did it before, and probably doing it a bit too frequently in the past, and need some of your advice?
That's a hard one, and unfortunately, Olivia might have learned the hard way about that, in the sense, generally speaking, virgin hair has the most amount of shine to it. And she's obviously far from virgin hair right now, because chances are with her hair color, they have overlapped the color on top of it also, which if you do that too many times, it will make the hair appear dull and almost dead looking. And unfortunately, with very dark hair, once it's been made too dark, it's really hard to put shine back into it. The best thing to do is to learn from that mistake and to start with your regrowth, and don't do that again. And that's why it is important sometimes when you're doing hair color to make sure you're going to the right person, because even though it can seem very simple what you're wanting, if they overlap the color too much and they overprocess it, you're going to lose the condition of your hair. And getting back to what we were talking about previously with just tying your hair back and have a simple look, if that hair color is a little bit too dark and dull for you, it's going to be hard to pull off. And so that very subtle difference of having just a few shades lighter, which you would only be able to achieve by not having somebody overlap your color. What we did during the while we were shut down here is we sent out a lot of color kits to clients. Meaning it was your formula that we're used to using on you, and with the directions on how to mix it, and then you could apply it to your roots. And then that way nobody went to the drugstore or Amazon and ordered the wrong color and made it too dark, because it's really important. Once your hair is too dark, it's really hard to fix, and you might have to grow it out. So that might not be the answer you're looking for, but it's the truth.
Well, and that's the truth is always the best way to answer any question. And I think that there are a lot of women, whether their hair is dark, was light, red, blonde, black, whatever, I think a lot of women try to do their own hair color just the way you said, by going out, getting it, and putting it on themselves. And I think at the end of the day that they're going to end up in a similar situation where their hair color will need to be repaired or to be growing out before they be able to really get the look that they may want to in the future. Would that be a fair assumption?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's trial and error, unfortunately.
Well, that's just like life itself, especially our life in dogs. And as fashionistas, we're willing to make our mistakes sometimes and learn from them.
Let me just say, too, if your hair is really damaged, you know what? Maybe it's time for a great short haircut and start all over. You know, you don't need to hang on to what's not working for you. If it's not making you feel good, try and change it. And if you can't change the color, like I said, maybe it's time to change your haircut then. You know, our hairstyle, whether it's a cut or color, is really one of the few things in our life that we can change. We can't always change our husband or where we live or our job, but you can get a new look this afternoon if you want.
Or the fact that we are a little bit inhibited right now from going out and seeing our stylist and getting back that beautiful look that we love so much and being with the person that we trust to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, people are limited right now, but you know, it's great to cut hair outdoors right now on patios and things like that. And it's also a great time to maybe hit the reset button. And if your hair is damaged, leave it alone and just condition it every week and tie it back, and you know, you'll get through this. And in the fall or whenever we return to some kind of normalcy, you'll have the chance to, you know, start fresh with your stylist too.
Tim, this has been an exceptional opportunity to share your expertise. We at the Canine Chronicle are most grateful to be able to have you with us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, well, who else better? And we will certainly, all the fashionistas out there, I know you're joining and thanking Tim with me. And we look forward to seeing you in the ring with your beautiful dogs.
Just remember, clean, simple looks for everybody, okay? That's the best. Don't overdo it. We're at a dog show to show our dogs, okay?
You have that as you do everything else. You said it so well, Tim. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, fashionistas, take a look at this mirror. It's a reflection of you. We gave you all the skincare and makeup tips we could and all of the hair tips. It's your turn to go out and put to work some of those great ideas that we got from experts like Tara Martin and Tim Lehman. And you need to be your own best expert and go out, try some new products, try a new hairstyle, get things together, because it's time to come out of the closet for everybody very soon. And I want you all to look your best and most fabulous ever. So take a look in that mirror. What do you see? And what do you need to do? Until next time, this is Elaine Lessig for the Canine Chronicle on their website and their Facebook page with the Closet Confidential. Fashionistas, get to work. See you next week. I want everybody to check on the Canine Chronicle website or on the Facebook page. There'll be instructions on how to submit a 1-minute video where you can ask your question, and we will choose some really great questions and go into it. Please tell us your name, where you live, what you do in dogdom. Are you a handler? Are you a breeder? Are you an exhibitor? And we'd like to tailor the answer to your needs specifically, but something that we can share with everybody. So don't forget to check on the Canine Chronicle website and on the Facebook page for the information on where to send your questions to the Closet Confidential.